If you take Slenderman, teach him how to throw a baseball, but also turn him into a lefty, here we got Noah Schultz. You see, Noah Schultz was drafted first round in 2022 by the Chicago White Sox and is having his rookie season this year. And let me tell you, that 6'10 prospect is going to be dominant in his time in the MLB. If, very much of an if you can change some small minor things that happen not to be so small, but we'll talk about those later in the video. Let's first talk about Schultz this season. Through his first 21.1 innings in the 2026 season, he set a 2.53 ERA with 20 Ks and a 1.03 whip. And the teams that he's competing against, they aren't all cakewalks. They aren't all just some easy money, but in fact, they're some of the toughest competition the Sox are going to face all year. And let's start off with his debut game against the Rays, a team that has been, I would say, dominating pretty far, where he gave up 4 runs in 4.1 innings on 3 hits and 4 walks. That is not good. Why am I saying he's going to dominate? Those are not great stats, but I just want to say that every great pitcher doesn't start off with some great first game stats. Let's look at where these runs came from in the game. 3 of them came in the first inning, where Schultz gave up 2 hits and 1 walk. But after that's not so good start to the game, he settled in and managed to go the remaining 3 innings, only giving up 1 more run. And I get it, that is not that good. Going 4 innings, giving up 4 runs, and going 3 remaining innings, giving up 1 run. These are not dominant numbers. But this is his first start of the season. This is his first start in the MLB. Let's look at what Schultz did in his next game against the Nationals. He put up 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks. You guys are thinking, Spencer, why are you saying this kid is dominating? He's clearly not dominating. He gave up 8 walks and hits combined. This is not very good. And the thing I want to say is he's not dominating yet. The reason that I believe Schultz will dominate is because of his movement. Let's look at his movement at a chart provided by MLB.com. Looking at this chart, we can see that every single one of his pitches moves more than the MLB average, with his primary strikeout pitch being his cutter, which rises 9.2 inches and breaks 2.8 inches. I don't think you guys understand how disgusting this is. Let's look at his other pitches. You see his changeup tails 17.5 inches. That is gross. That is disgusting. That is like Swiss cheese and type level stuff. His sinker tails 17.8 inches with a 7.5 inch rise. And honestly, if you ask me, his sinker is his worst pitch, which is reflected by his put away percentage at just 9.1%. But it's still a gross pitch. His sweeper is just amazing, which breaks in the complete opposite direction of his sinker, 15 inches. His changeup is gross as well, and I find it funny to mention that he's only thrown his changeup 24 times in a game, every single one of those coming against a righty. So if you're a lefty in the MLB, watching my video, and you're about to go against Schultz, I don't think you got to worry about facing the change because he hasn't thrown it once yet. And let's look at his final pitch being his fastball. 11.3 inches of tail. That is dirty. This spread is dirty. These pitches have so much movement and they are so spread out. That is what I love so much about Schultz. Comparing this to Screwball, who throws 84% of his pitches that rise in tail in this section here, the top left section if you want to call it, compared to Schultz, who has spread out over every section of the strike zone. He is unpredictable. Schultz is unpredictable. His velo isn't too shabby at all either. In fact, he's ahead of the lefty MLB average in almost every single velo category, especially with his changeup being almost 90 miles per hour and his fastball sitting at a nice 95.6. So again, I know what you're thinking. Well, why is he not dominating? You see, Schultz has great movement, he has great velo, but he's not dominating. I mean, I said he should, but why is he not now? The reason Schultz is not dominating is because he walks a lot of people. He loves to walk. He loves to throw balls at people, and I'm just being honest. You see, fun fact, in 60% of the games Schultz has started, he has walked the same or more amount of batters that he struck out. That's not good. That is not good at all. Schultz is averaging 4 to 5 walks per 9 innings. That is not good. He needs to cut back on that. If Schultz can dial in on the strike zone, trust me, and trust his pitches more, he will dominate on the mound. And I want to look at the games that Schultz did do this. I want to look at the games that Schultz did dial on in the strike zone to prove my point to you. Take a look at his stats against the A's. Exactly. 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, and 1 walk. And the hit was a home run. So besides that home run, Schultz went 5 innings with no runs. And this was against the A's, who are first in the AL West. And I know the A's aren't very good, but they are still a good, decent baseball team. They're not a cakewalk for the White Sox, who, to be frank, aren't the best either. This was a great performance by Schultz, where he just limits the walk. And I want to look at his only another game where he walked less than 4 batters. I know he only has 2 games that he's walked less than 4 batters, but let's see how he did in this game. Just what I would have expected. 6 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, which is still a decent amount of walks, 0 runs. This guy can dominate, and he has the ability to dominate. He just needs to find the plate, and he needs to trust his movement. He just has to dial in on that strike zone and just believe in himself. And I promise you, if he can get his strike percentage up and limit the walks, this kid will dominate in the MLB because his movement is gross. His velo is good. He has what it takes to be a Cy Young winner. And I believe he will. While I was writing the script, Schultz pitched another game where he gave up 7 runs in 3.2 innings, but I will say he walked 4 batters, so I still stand strong on my argument that Schultz is going to dominate. I'll see you guys later. Love y'all.